Well, time for an update from Montecito now.
I've been waiting for this.
Where Harry and Meghan are reported to be divided over a potential move back to the UK.
Sources say the Sussexes will apparently start looking for a London base for their family soon, and apparently they won't be asking the royal family for a handout either after the fallout over Frogmore Cottage. I am delighted. It's 3 weeks in, but she's on. My favourite royal commentator live from LA, host of the To Die For Daily podcast, Kinsey Schofield. Good morning.
Good morning. Congratulations on your new show and your babies.
Ah, thank you so much.
I know.
That's very kind.
Only one is down to me. I'd like to make that point, Kins.
Oh, my goodness.
Thanks for clarifying.
Yeah, as if it needed clarification. Kinsey, tell us what's the latest from Montecito.
Because the homesick Harry, is it true?
We have been hearing rumors about Harry being homesick for quite some time. I'd say the better part of a year. And I do think the straw that broke the camel's back in this particular instance was Harry coming home for well child, asking permission to stay at a royal estate and really being rejected and being told that in the future, if he'd like to stay at a royal household, he needed to give them X amount of time in advance. I don't think that set well with him. He's looking for comfort. He's looking for a home away from home in Montecito. And, that's likely to be in the UK. I don't think that Meghan is eager to go back there, and that's fine. Time heals all wounds. Perhaps she'll head there again in the future. But I do think it's important to Prince Harry to have a foot over there, to have a presence over there, because that's where he grew up. It's really all he knows.
Does it cause a divide? I know the press get involved and you and I joke and everything about it, but when I think about him, when I think back to the stuff he did in the army and how important his family is, I always thought, I don't know, they've cut themselves off too much. She doesn't want to come back here, and frankly, I don't want her to come back here. But he, yes, should have a base. Yes, he's got family. Do you think that it will happen? Do you think that it's causing grief between the two of them?
I think that it's Harry and Meghan against the world 99.9% of the time. I'm sure that there is an element of her that's just like, oh, I don't want to be associated with it. Go do your thing. Go find your happiness. But I do think for the most part, it's Harry and Meghan against the world. Have they thought about this before? I imagine that that's a possibility, but this is not going to be what separates the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Not this, not at all.
No, and it makes them more relatable because, show me a couple who doesn't get on with their... show me a couple who does get on with their in-laws all of the time.
I love my in-laws.
No, and I love mine too.
So you hate your mother-in-law?
No, they're fantastic. However, if it's the choice between...
digging.
If my partner was American, then maybe there would be a bit of tension between whether I stay over there or whether I come over here. We've seen it play out in a lot of celebrity divorces, even the Sophie Turner, Joe Jonas, it's gone over your head.
Kins,
divorce.
I've been doing this 3 weeks with her. We've got the horror that's going on in the world, and yet whenever she talks about Joe Jonas or she talks about, I don't know, what's the other thing?
Just
Colleen
any celebrity
Rooney.
divorces.
She's obsessed.
We want to talk about something a little bit more serious now with Harry and Meghan, though, because they have made a statement condemning Hamas. What do you make of that, and how has that gone down over in the US?
Well, to be quite honest with you, I think Harry and Meghan's statement was crucial and absolutely necessary. There are, a significant amount of people that categorize this as an attack on not just Israel, but the Jewish community. And in the next few weeks, we expect to see the Crown revisit Harry's anti-Semitic Halloween costume scandal. Additionally, there is at least one executive director for an organization funded by Archwell that's been outspoken in her criticism of Israel. So Harry and Meghan's statement clearly indicates where they stand, distances themselves from hate, and shows them being proactive in some form of relief. And I think that it was so crucial that they get ahead of the Crown and that they respond in this way, especially after how aggressive King Charles and the Prince and Princess of Wales were.
Just taking that a stage further, Kins, before we let you go, and thank you so much for coming on. Yesterday, your president arrived in Israel and was very demonstrative in his support of the Israeli people and Benjamin Netanyahu, and our Prime Minister Rishi Sunak goes today. So the two of the biggest powers are firmly behind Israel. What's the feeling on the ground in America? Complete support, concern? This side of the pond, we're all looking at it in fear, naturally, because of the humanitarian thing, but also one needs to avenge what happened and deal with those terrorists. What's the US feeling?
Well, I mean, I'd love to tell you that, you know, it was united in the idea that this is terrorism and we need to help in any way, shape, or form. But then, you know, we have like Harvard and we have some of these, you know, very expensive campuses that are pro-Palestine. So I do think the majority are pro-Israel and we like a solution and we want to jump in any way, shape, or form. But the reality is it's a mixed bucket over here, which is kind of frightening.
Yeah, we will. I just wanted to say that we will be debating that story later on in the show. I'm really looking forward to talking about that because we're arguing, you know, this is ultimately cancel culture, but it's happening to people who are on the left. And will people on the right have the same opinion about it?
Can I also say, because we were doing this on another show yesterday about The Crown, you mentioned there they are going to revisit Harry dressed as a Nazi and now making a speech in terms of that. However, they've actually, I mean, I think they've gone beyond ludicrous. They've got Diana as a ghoul. I think it's beyond. I mean, it's ridiculous. She comes back as a ghost. Kinsey Schofield, please come back. Come back, will you?
He misses you.
Thank you. I'd love to. It's my new favorite morning show.
Yes.
You look slightly scared when you said that. Kinsey Schofield, thank you very much indeed.